And just like that, we're back.
We're back.
And just like that, we're back. I'm your host, Shannon Balenciaga, and you're tuning into Culture Couturé Podcast. I'm joined by my fabulous co-hosts, Kalan and Niko. How y'all doing, fellas?
Hello. Hi.
You back.
Yes, we're back. Finally, we took a little break. We're back with the jump off, like Little Kim said.
Period.
And we're going to get right down to it because, baby, we got all the juice and all the tea because it's been an amazing summer going into fall. Now, let's get into it. And I want to also make sure that I let you guys know out there to like, share, and subscribe. We're in our new home, YouTube land. We're here and we're here to stay. So go right on and click that button, like, share, and subscribe so you get all the notifications because we're here for the mess. So let's get into it. How we're feeling about this juicy election. So Niko, tell me, you first. Tell me how you're feeling about this election 2024.
Well, y'all know what side I'm choosing. Okay. Hey, Harris, how you doing, girl? But I just feel like, there was this one quote that stuck out to me, which was, idiots are going to vote for the person that brainwashes them the most, as opposed to the person that they can relate to, the person that knows that will be able to, may not make perfect guarantee change, but actually make a change by just simply being there. And of course, we knew who that choice was. And we know who the choice was for those other people. So that's my thoughts.
So I'm going to talk about how I felt because I have been privileged enough to be a content creator for the Democratic National Convention, as well as I went out, I phone banked for Harris. I didn't do any door knocking because she's not doing that.
Okay.
But I did phone calls. I went to a couple of rallies and things, and it was amazing. It was my first time. It was just exciting. I just saw the energy that was out there. And she did a wonderful job for the short amount of time that she had to run for president of the United States. But I think the Democrats did drop the ball. I think they dropped the ball and you can just see, I think people's silence was more louder than people stating that they were voting for Donald Trump.
Exactly.
I think a lot of men didn't stay. I think a lot of celebrities didn't stay. I just think a lot of people were not secretly on board to have a woman be president of the United States. It's really sad and pathetic that we as women can run everything else in the world, but you can't be president of the United States. And you've had two qualified women, Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris. Pronounce her name correct, people. Kamala. But hey, now y'all gonna suffer. Because one thing about it, me as a Black person, we all Black people, we have come from nothing and we've made something. So it might be a little rough, it might be a little tough, but we have always made it work. Welcome back, Kalan. Can we hear you?
Perfect.
Okay, let's hear your POV. Come on now.
Okay. Keep it short. I didn't like it. It's an assault on Black women. The most qualified person in the history of the presidency lost, and it's an absolute shame. Those who voted against her will soon find out why they should have voted for her.
Amen. But unfortunately, we're just going to have to stay tuned. Things are a little quiet. Do y'all think it's a little quiet after this election? Will the Democrats concede it so easily? Is there something brewing? Well, we're just going to see what this judge do and what sentencing conviction Donald Trump gets. Because, I want to make this very clear to people. Donald Trump has been found guilty in court, but he's not a convicted felon yet until he's sentenced. So he was allowed to run. We made the mistake by allowing him to not be sentenced before the election date because he could by law. I always grew up in government, and the Constitution always stated that you cannot run for president of the United States if you're a convicted felon. But yet, look at here, Donald Trump. So I have a funny suspicion now because they own the presidency, the House, and the Senate. I think we're getting ready to see a change in the Constitution.
That's
And it's
what
going to take the next 10 years to undo what he do. But I have to make sure that I say this very clearly to all the people who are in office. I have a funny suspicion Donald Trump is not going to get it as easy as he thinks, because those people have to worry about their future. Donald Trump only has 4 years. So anything that he do, he can be liable to be arrested and all those things afterwards. And all those people, they will come after you. You have to be very careful right now. They're going to come for you. Donald Trump going to be riding off in the sun, and y'all going to be the ones that sit in prison. So be mindful about how you vote. Be mindful of what you do, because your constituents are not going to go for you to be put back in office, and it will end up turned into blue and not red. So they have to be very careful.
But when you are dating someone before you get all the way married, there are financial red flags that stick out. Now, just let me make sure I get them all off of my good list here. Number 1, multiple cheering, not children, cheering. Baby mamas, baby daddies, baby cousins, baby everybody's everywhere. Multiples. It's nothing wrong with somebody having kids before marriage. Auntie is not saying that. But we need to know about it. And you need to be taking care of them. We clear, because that's a red flag. If somebody's out here got all these children and aren't taking care of them, is that somebody you want to enter into a marriage with? Auntie says no, if they're not taking care of them. Bad credit, number 2, bad credit and acting like it ain't nothing. Now listen, Auntie understands that we all have to crawl before we ball, and we all have a past, and sometimes that past catches up with you. Now, if you have bad credit, don't be going around going on trips and cutting up and buying all the stuff and wearing all the labels and doing all the stuff and not working on repairing your credit. That's a problem for TT. You need to put an investment in fixing that, because what we're not going to do is get married and you run up my stuff, okay? Or vice versa.
So we're going to move on from that. We're going to spin the block, y'all. It's exciting. The movie of the year. Last year was Color Purple, and this year is all about Wicked.
Pink and green, yay!
It would have been lovely to see the AKAs come out, because they would have turned this whole Wicked with the president of the United States, but it's fine. So guys, tell me, how do y'all feel? Are y'all going to watch? Are y'all theater kids? Tell me, what do y'all think?
I'm not a theater kid, but I'm excited about the movie because I really, really love Ariana Grande. I have been one of those people where I'm like, I look from the side because I don't want to know too much negative things about her, like the whole licking of the donut thing. I thought that was pretty disgusting. But you like Chris Brown, she can't do no wrong. So I figured out about the whole husband thing and the new husband thing, and I saw the picture with her and Cynthia Erivo, like a year and a half ago, and I was like, what is going on here? She's very mystic and cryptic with her messages and enigmatized with her messages on Instagram, kind of like Beyonce. So it's kind of hard to really tell like what's actually going on in the moment with her until you wait it out a little bit. And here we are, 7-8 months later, and it's a movie with her and this amazing singer from the UK named Cynthia Erivo. So my thoughts about the movie are just, I can't wait to see it. I'm excited for it. I'm not a theater kid, but it was one of those movies where I was always like intrigued to watch. And what a freaking confirming reason to go see it for me.
Yeah, I'm a part-time theater kid, having done. But I need people to put respect on Cynthia Erivo's name, right? She's the reason why. Like, I love Ari. I agree with you. She's been very cryptic. I kind of like it, to be honest with you. I like my song be a little bit mystic, and a la Denzel, and to figure out what's going on in their lives. It creates mystique around them. But I need people to put respect on was enough for me. Grammy Award, right? Tony Award, right? Emmy Award, right? Like, there's nothing she can't do. Her voice is amazing. The fact that she reps so hard for the culture, her style is so unique and authentic. She's, and so that was enough for me. And then by it being Wicked and teaming up in this fashion is amazing. Cinematography, the lighting, the coloring, the costumes, everything about it. I can't wait to go see it.
So I wasn't excited at first, but the more and more since they've been doing this press run.
Truthfully, we're a bunch of crybabies over here.
Do you have a Cynthia?
Of course, babe. Of course. What was that there? What's very happening? Good.
I was on Broadway doing Avenue Q when you were in 13. Yes, girl, yes.
I can't say this too loudly, but I love Avenue Q so much.
Oh my God.
Yeah, girl, I was Gary Coleman in
This film means so much to me, and there are so many millions of kids like me who find refuge in the witches.
No, you both have to stop.
Sorry. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Oh my goodness.
So sorry, guys.
It is what it is.
There's
nothing we can do about it.
I can't imagine. And you know what? If you're in the comments saying how annoying it is, I'll say it first.
We're really sorry. It just happens.
It's really
It
emotional.
happens. We can't help it. We're trying our best. But there's a lot of emotional things that happen, and we're just going with it.
But I have to say they have changed my mind, and the designers are truly lately are making wardrobe specifically for their bodies, and you can see it starting with Zach posing. Her outfit Zach created, fabulous. And Tom Brown, they have been eating it. Cynthia is truly looking like a movie star lately, and she looks like a movie star, and I am here for it. I'm excited. I haven't been wanting to go to the movies in a while, but I am definitely going to see this, and I might dress up, put a little makeup on, and not be incognito.
That's not me though. I just want to go see the movie just so I can get I don't want to get ready. I don't want to do none of that stuff. I just want to get up, shower, go. Because I just want to see the movie in bare form, just so I could just be completely let me see what
cry, get little tears.
Yes.
Because I love Wicked. I love it. I'm a theater kid. I love theater. Because I love music. I love scores. I've been in the band, symphony, and all those things. So I look at all the different things. It's the whole musicality that truly just invokes feelings. So I look forward to it.
Okay.
So,
well, shoot, we might have to do a little small recap on the gram after that.
We're going to do that. We're going to give the people what they want.
Come on, Turkey Day recap. Boop, boop.
Come on back up in here, Kalan. So we're going to do our next topic. We're going to whiz on down the road. Hey, Michael. Hey, Diana. And we're going to spin on over to another little hot section. It's all about what's the timeline, babe. Y'all ready for this?
Let's do it.
So let's recap. Let's tell the people exactly what the viewers want about what's hot and what's not. So tell me, Niko, what has been hot on your tables this season?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I am doing two big things right now. One is kind of in collaboration, helping a friend out and having a ball doing it, by the way. My first one is my book. It's the Style Guide 101 to get started on how to be a stylist, how to get your first celebrity influencer client, and how to keep them. Yay!
Yes, sir.
The main thing that I would take from my book, my own main takeaway, just stepping outside of myself, reading it like a normal person, and I think my takeaway would be don't run your mouth. And that would just be my main piece of advice, especially for someone living in LA. Now, if you're doing personal shopping and you're doing it for a friend and you're helping them just renovate their closet, of course you have bigger bones in those closets than we would with like a Halle Berry or a Haley Bailey. So I don't know. My next thing would be The Sweet Life of Andre and Fly King. I'm in one of their episodes of the show, which is pretty amazing. We're just honestly talking about fashion and cute stuff. But this show is about music. Chasing LA. Hello, it's another really cool YouTube platform. They are making headway on what is going on in Los Angeles. And I feel like, you know, my friend, he's obviously the Nene of the show. So he had his own spinoff. And I was able to do the social media and do a few things with, you know, the production and, you know, just kind of like get in my like film bag a little bit more, you know? So.
Gotcha. Well, yeah. Kalan.
So what's the timeline? Man, listen, personally, just rounding out the end of the year with a couple of passion projects, really having creative directed a couple of things here in Houston for some creators, but also just kind of following along what's happening in pop culture, right? One of the things that's near and dear to my heart is the new move that Jerry Lorenzo has done in terms of joining Kappa Alpha Psi. And so as a person who's going to college and who is in a Greek fraternity, that was really cool to me to see that. You know, what it made me do was go back and kind of research a little bit more beyond just fear of God, right? Jerry Lorenzo, and you know, he went to FAMU, didn't know that, right? Then he got his MBA as well, and now he's part of the San Bernardino chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi, really embodying what that organization embodies in the community. So it's really, really dope about that. And then I think my favorite thing that recently happened in terms of what's the T in the timeline is the big move that Jason Tatum has done, right? Really trying to put from the Boston Celtics, putting his money where his mouth is. He was a NBA champion last season. He was gold medalist in the Olympics, right? And then now he has the biggest contract in the history of professional sport, in the history of NBA, valued up to $314 million. But he's willing to make a $200 million bid to bring women's basketball to St. Louis. I'm a proponent of the WNBA in all things. I'm a critique of it on the business side, a critic of it on the business side as well. But just him putting his money where his mouth is, kind of legitimizing the sport by a superstar, is really cool to me. And I think that's a really dope investment move. It's a really dope social move. It's a really dope equity move. And I love the legacy that he's doing in terms of trying to bring it back to a market that's going to do well because they support their teams really well.
Well, he's going to need to call Whoopi Goldberg to see if they can put that on her channel.
You did. And I promise you that's going to happen.
We're going to spin back on that in a second. Let's put a pin in that. But baby, you guys, I know you've been waiting for it, and I've been excited to tell you. So what I have been doing is creating a skincare line. You guys, I'm excited to share with y'all an Aga luxury skincare. Mother skin has never looked so clear. So, get into the light, guys. Get into the light.
How does it look?
How does it look again? Shannon, describe it.
Supple, clear, magnificent.
I'm not mad.
Baby, this, and I am literally women, men. I have everything for you guys. Women, men, packaging for everything. I have every type of product for every type of skin type. I didn't start small. I started right so that you too can have the glow, the evenness, the beautification of mother. Because mother knows best. And guys, exciting news dropping now. One lucky Culture Couturé Podcast fan out there will win a luxury PR box. So how to win, you must like, share, and subscribe on YouTube, Instagram, comment, and follow mother and the co-host. And the producers will find one lucky person and drop you a DM for your address, and I will send you a box. And it's going to be valued at over $500. You're going to love it.
Every morning, I believe in starting fresh, feeling my best from the inside out. With Anaga Luxury Skincare, I know my skin is cared for day and night. As the day picks up, so does my look. Anaga is my go-to for that effortless glow, and it holds up through everything I face. From dawn to dusk, I'm on the move. Anaga keeps my skin balanced and luminous, letting me shine no matter what's on my schedule. But by Culture Couturé Podcast.
Now we're going to spin all the way back because there's a topic that we don't want to miss. And it's all about women in sports. It's the year of the women. Even though we did not get our president of the United States, women's sports are on the forefront of all of our minds. And also Whoopi Goldberg. She is starting a women's channel with all women's sports. What do y'all think?
I am so excited. I was actually it was in my boots to tell y'all. I think what is so much more prominent, and I feel like from Megan Thee Stallion, just as a rapper, Cardi B, just as rappers, we were able to get what men were giving in the rap game for ourselves, for people who were wanting to receive that, right? And so people who, like us, all three of us combined, who were collectively a true ally of women doing sports and winning in that, I feel like this is a perfect opportunity for Whoopi Goldberg to capitalize on that. Now, if we're all doing that anyways, Trump, we might as well do it for a great cause. So I'm excited for it. I can't wait to see what type of fashion shows come out of that, what type of reality pitches come out of that, what type of actual game schemes come out of that, what type of new sports casters that we'll get from that, and what genre and how new and relatable it will and should and can be. So I'm just excited about what's new with it, because I think this is her own streaming service, and if she's making it into a channel, Whoopi Goldberg's big, so it's going to be big. So we're just going to see just kind of how it goes, and I'm really excited to see that fruition.
So to piggyback on you, Niko,
yes.
You said she's big, right? I got it up here. I got it up here, right? It's streaming on Roku. It's streaming on Fubo TV, Zumo, Freebie, Tubi, Vizio. It's streaming everywhere. So she's already, her 45-year career is going to solidify the fact that she can get into any station almost that she wants, right?
Yeah.
So that's you're right. She's huge. But secondarily, I think you hit a key point that I think that we don't look at enough. And we've seen a rise in this happen on Fox and ESPN, but that's the journalism, that's the behind the scenes, that's good, the types of opportunities that it's going to provide for those folks, for those anchors, for those journalists, and they're going to be some dope women who are already established into it, but also some new voices and some new faces that are going to capture this content, right? And then in terms of I am interested to see how women are going to respond. So because we've seen it, and this is where I kind of get critical and kind of a little bit, we've seen on the WNBA side, no NBA didn't put the amount of money I feel like they should have, but also it is a business and there has to be the ticket sales and so women weren't going to games for the past 25 years until the past 3 years, really until this year, right? And so I'm curious to see. Yes, I love the PR that's going to happen. I love what's the moves, but I want to give a rallying call to the women out there. Go support this, right? Because this is it's not for you, but it's made by you, and you're the target audience, right? I'm gonna watch regardless. My kids and my homeboys, we do the betting and we do the everything on the women's sports. We're already locked in, but I want to make sure, and I hope that everything, that all of the dopeness that Whoopi's doing, that it translates well and women receive it and go consume it and support it so that it can blow up and be the next big thing. Because I'm excited for the whole thing. It's called Women's Sports Network.
So I'm gonna piggyback off what you just said, Kalan. You know why women do not support women's sports like that? And they support men. It's just like with all genres and music and everything. Women are, especially Black women, we move so much of the culture. And we don't support other women as much as we do men. We create their careers. We do everything because you want to be with them sexually. You want to be protected by them. And you also want them to take care of you. It's all three of those things. You don't get that from a woman. I think what is also important with Whoopi starting this, and just like with Jason Tatum to bring WNBA to his city, you have to start. It's almost kind of like the music industry used to have talent grooming. And you have to groom these women in sports. No longer is it okay for you to be walking around looking a little butch or masculine. You have, and that's fine. Everybody has the way everybody has the ability to be themselves. But I think it also needs to be a place for women in sports to be feminine. There's a level of femininity that is missing if we start really allowing these women to wear makeup, do their hair, and just how we're seeing in the tunnel. The tunnel has become a fashion show. But dare I say this, it still look like it's drags. You're walking in heels and can't walk in them. You got to practice just as much as you do the actual basketball or any other sport. You have to get the right stylist team. I'm sorry, ladies. I'm just gonna have to call it. And there's people call me. I will help you. I don't have a problem with helping you groom. It's several. We want to see you win. We want to see these things, and we are a village. Each one teach one.
Each one teach one. Yeah, let me piggyback off of that real quick before we move forward. I feel like the sports and fashion girl needed to merge, and we have Angel Reese. Her feet are so big.
I mean, she's 6'3", so they're supposed to be, right?
But
it's fine. RuPaul is 6'5" with big feet and make it look fabulous.
Fabulous. And so this is a point in time for her to do some refining, because I was to the knowledge of that she was in talks with Law Roach and Victoria's Secrets. Do a walk for them. And I mean, if Rihanna had to get vetted after being a mega superstar just to perform there and to walk, I'm sure she's going to get vetted just as well. So I just want to see how that comes together, because I feel like if you can grasp the ability to dribble a ball around a court and avoid women that are big and muscular, because that's a challenge, because you don't expect it, and they might actually sock you, okay? But with that being said, I feel like this is a good enough challenge for her to overcome and get it right. So let's see if Law Roach is, his teachings, because he has a new, little thing. But let's just see if it works. I'm excited.
Victoria's Secret is one of my Victoria. And I have a love for Angel Reese, but Angel, I need I don't see you for Victoria's Secret right now. I think you have a lot of grooming to do. That could be something down the line once you get it together. I give grace because she's a baby and she's fresh and new and stuff, but stop reaching so high right now and actually go walk somebody's fashion model school, practice, and then bust out and let us see that. And I'm not trying to put her down that said Victoria's Secret can't be. I would love to see you get there. But don't get out there and be like Tyra Banks is, because I'm getting ready to go in. Don't be like Tyra Banks and your ankles and look like you got ready to fall over. Don't do that. You're going to be clown, and it could be the end of your career. Be a Martha Stewart about it. Baby, when you fall, get up with grace and keep moving. When you come out and do these things, you can't be a spectacle. You got to shine like the star. So if you're not going to do it right, don't do it at all.
Right. And don't do it how Tyra did it the last time.
No. And I'm a big believer that we got to stop trying to push ourselves into other people's games. You see, Victoria's Secret show fell flat for me this year because they were too busy trying to be culturally woke. Y'all, we got to stop trying to put our values on other people. Those ladies work their butts off to be skinny. They all are older. They have had children. They work themselves all to keep those bodies and those standards. And we want to make them do big girls and transgenders and all these different things. You can go to Savage Fenty and do it. You can go everywhere else. Why do we want to put them down? I see the culture always trying to put those ladies down. But then you want to big up these ladies, but then the show become a mess. It wasn't a fantasy because y'all want to stuff look reality. Baby, sometimes we want to go home and push reality out the door. That's why y'all like reality TV. We don't want to see that all the time. We want to see something that we're not so we can aspire to it.
And I love that you said that, Shannon, because it, in some way or another, we all like an alien film or a sci-fi film. So if it's something that we are not able, it may be either merely impossible, close to impossible, or something that we're not able to attain. It is all a fantasy. And if a human can be put on this earth to do that for us, which Miss Victor and Victoria has been doing for the last 20 some odd years, then I'm cool with what she was given before and how she can give it almost that same to similar and upgraded 2024 energy. But that woke stuff, nobody's trained to do this. You're just putting people in slots that there are people that are trained to do this. So people say, oh, you put this model in between this model and this one's getting paid this one. And that doesn't even matter because inadvertently they're both walk the same. They both give us what we want, but they're both also not this new version of a pill that we're supposed to swallow just because you're going to give it to us. I need water.
Man, listen, I'm tired of wokeness. The world ain't woke. And so
like
the word they snoring real loud. And so I'm sick of it. And so I agree with you that it should be, we got to keep, there's a foundation in any industry, regardless of what it is. Any and every industry has a foundation. And so once you start going a little bit too far away from me, it takes away from the balance of life. It takes away from what the industry is supposed to look like. And there are things that need to be changed and some difficulties within the modeling and some, and notwithstanding all of that. But at the end of the day, there is a standard that an iconic brand like Victoria's Secret has set. There's a standard that Savage Fenty has set. There's a standard. And so let's stay to those standards. And if it ain't for this person, then it's just not. Like in sports, every player doesn't fit on every team, and that's okay. Go to another team, my guy. You know what I'm saying, homegirl? Like, it is what it is. Every teacher isn't for every institution. It's okay, right? And so it's the same thing. And I think trying to push that on her is annoying. I was to go to Mama Tyra, to Big Cousin Tyra. I was kind of, I didn't know how to feel. I was excited she was out there just to see her again because she's our Tyra, yay. But then when I saw how she moved, she wasn't our Tyra, so I was like, oh, and so it was kind of like, I didn't know how to feel. So I just kind of was quiet on it. But at the same time, how do you have Victoria's Secret without having Tyra be a part of it? You know what I'm saying?
The years before this, it's very easy.
This was
but she's been quiet. Say again?
But this was her comeback moment. She hasn't been on the runway since the last time she did Victoria's Secret. So it had to be a magical moment. Where was Naomi Campbell? She would have came out there and stole the show.
Very true. Very true.
There was people missing. They put Kate Moss on there for the first time, and she looked like the Walking Dead.
But see, this was Victoria's Secret.
A pumped out, drugged out, drunk out, mom on the runway, allegedly. And so she didn't look good. Like it was a lot of missteps. The music wasn't right. It just wasn't right.
I think it's like our hopes just got really big, right? Because it's Tyra, just like our hopes got big with Tyson and Jake Paul. Being a Tyson head growing up with Iron Mike, playing the video games, and then to see him fall flat, not necessarily fall flat, but not have the performance that we wanted, even though we know he's a 60-year-old man versus a 27-year-old man. I just think it's kind of like that. Our hopes were so big, and it's hard for me as a fan, right? I'm long out of the modeling game. It's hard for me as a fan of Tyra to just throw her to the wolves. But them ankles was doing like that though when she was walking, so I do get it. You know what I mean? So, but just like Tyson's feet wasn't moving like they're supposed to, so he couldn't zip and zap. So I understand, but it's just hard for me just to throw her to the wolves because she's Tyra.
Well, I'm not throwing anybody to the wolves. I'm just giving constructive criticism.
For sure. Stop laughing at me, Niko.
To be judged, you have to take the good with the bad. I'm glad that everybody is out there. But I'm just a believer and from the school of thumbs that if you ain't doing it right, don't do it at all.
Understood. I agree.
Don't sit up there and let somebody clown you. You be the best. If you go get clowned, you gotta look amazing while doing it.
Just saying.
Touche.
Just like Rihanna said. She said, you can beat me in everything else, but you can't beat my outfit. Boop.
You hear me?
And so that's just like we're going to spend this block on this question. What if you found out your partner voted for Trump? Would you leave them? Would you be mad at them?
So
Or
let
have
me
you
jump
found
in.
out your friends? What about your friends?
I have a family member that I recently found out yesterday voted for Trump, and this is a young family member, so I give that family member grace because they're young, like young, like
Are they the Gen
21.
Z?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so so I got Thanksgiving is coming, and Professor K gonna have some conversations. We're gonna really break some things down and talk to him from an old head and from an academic standpoint. But would I leave my wife? No, it's not happening. Would I be upset? I just would want to know why. So let's have some conversations. I think that's what the part of the democratic process that we're missing is having conversations, talking about what's on both sides of the aisle, and then coming to an agreement or agreeing to disagree, but doing so civilly. What's called civil discourse, right? And so being able to do that, I think that's an opportunity for you to understand your partner, opportunity to understand the person that you love, with whom you are in love and in relationship with, so that you can get to know them better, so that the relationship can either continue or so that the relationship can move on, so y'all can be the best version of yourself that you can be. But I think leaving is hard, unless you just talking about you just a white supremacist and all of this kind of deal. I don't know about leaving. But
Trump didn't break up that relationship. It was already broken.
Right.
But I'm gonna piggyback off of what you just said, which is so true. I have a lot of Republican friends, and the day after the election, I went to dinner with them, and we were talking before. Yes, I'm a different type of person. I can have a discussion with people and not get mad, because I don't supposed to push my views on you, and you don't supposed to push your views on me. If you can have an intelligent conversation with somebody and get them to think a different type of way, it'll be different. Like, I've had some high power attorneys that are Republicans, and they are all sitting around saying, we don't agree with what Trump doing, and it's hard. We don't even want to vote at all. But I'm like, y'all went out and vote for him because the numbers show in Georgia. But a lot of people are business owners, so they voted for Trump for that reason. They saw their business profits go down. And the Democrats didn't have a real topic on how to bring that up. And we as mind-sounded individuals know that Trump's administration causes this wave of the Biden. He needed 4 more years to actually fix the economy. They didn't do everything perfect. Granted, I understand. Kamala didn't have a message on how to put money back in people's pockets. Granted. I think that this Gen Z generation is thinking for themselves. They are seeing that everything that everybody else has done hasn't worked. And there is a revolution trying to buck the system. A lot of them did vote for Donald Trump, because you got to remember, look at what their culture is. Their culture is all about what they see the reality. And it's all about say what you want to say. They resonate that with Donald Trump. They don't see that with other people. Kamala needed to come out and be given the prosecutor, the hard black bitch, angry that they think we are. If she would have fed back into Donald Trump the way he dishes it out, it would have been a total different story. Because
she probably wouldn't have won some of the states that she'd won if it was that. Was that
all of them, because people would have been given that as a leader. A leader is not always liked. She was too busy trying to be liked than be a leader.
Yeah, the Democrats had a poor strategy in marketing her. She had everything on paper. If you go to KamalaHarris.com, you would see her 82-page policy breakdown. She had everything they were talking about. It just wasn't marketed. And so, number one, she couldn't raise the money. I mean, listen, when you got Elon Musk dropping
she raised the money.
Yeah, she raised it early on, but longitudinally through the campaign, she couldn't withstand it. She couldn't withstand the same amount. You see what I'm saying? So toward the end of early voting and getting closer, she was outspent. She was outspent by Donald Trump. So there was more marketing in terms. So she didn't have the opportunity to talk about some of those policy things that she actually had when people were critiquing her, because it was right. She was hinging on a lot of social things, but she wasn't talking economics. She wasn't talking about putting money in your pocket. She wasn't in the grand scheme of things, right? We know because we're connected to her campaign. We're connected to what she was doing. We reading the emails and talking to people who are like us. But looking at the data, it just wasn't. When you look at exit polling, it just wasn't done in the same way. that the R's did, man, and that strategy hurt them in the long run because she had everything. You go to KamalaHarris.com. Well, I don't know if it's still up now, but it was an 82-page policy report on everything that everybody was talking about. 82 pages.
Because it also, too, what hurt her is that, and they said this at the beginning when everybody was so excited, there is a honeymoon phase, and that's what happened. It literally fizzed off when they should have kept it going. There needed to be, and also to speaking to Democrats, I want y'all to listen to me. We have to stop literally using celebrity as the backbone of trying to win election. We saw this with Hillary Clinton, with Oprah trying to come down to Georgia, knocking on doors. It did not work. We saw it and then putting Beyonce at the end and then Beyonce again this time. I want to tell everybody, and Taylor Swift, that no longer works. People are not bamboozling. They're not allowing celebrities to sway them in their voting.
Right.
You actually have to have average, everyday people talking to people, because these are the people that's going to get them to be like, you know what? I didn't think about it that way. You're in the same field as me, where I need to do this to get A, B, C, and D, or I'm hurting this way, and you can relate to me. Celebrities and their money is not relating to average people when it comes down to elections. Democrats, listen, we can have all the dance parties, because trust me, we have a great time. Those things are great. But people want, at the end of the day, people want to know, how am I going to make some money in my pocket?
At the end of the day, money's going to always win. It is what it is. If you focus on the money, if you focus on that, are eggs not going to be $6? Is orange juice not going to be $9? Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do I tackle childcare? My wages are not increasing like inflation. If you're not talking those talking points, it's going to fall flat at some point during the election. And it just did not happen to the extent that it was happening. Even though homeboy, the orange dude, was lying and had no facts and no policy either, it was just talking points that resonated with people, just from the talking points. So, they got it.
And she touched on this, but she didn't really get hard on the people. She would have came out like a prosecutor and said, I'm prosecuting every last one of y'all corporations on these price gouging, these grocery stores. If she would have talked just like that, straight to the people, that people would have been giving. I'm voting for her because I'm tired. I'm going after the landlords and the people, you price gouging people. I'm going after these energy companies for raising prices. I'm going after insurance companies. If she would have talked just like this to the American people, I'm sick of it. I see my bill. My bill has risen this month, and I'm the vice president. I have to pay, because we've seen Obama say, I order A, B, C, and D. I have to end up paying it. And you see, even I am hurting from it. Just like you. I'm like you. I'm sick of it. I'm coming after all these companies like I did in California, and I'm going to make sure we get the money. And not only are they I'm going to prosecute them for price gouging, they owed us a rebate. I want a rebate. Yeah. And on that note, we're going to say good evening to each and every one of y'all on Culture Couturé Podcast. I'm your host, Shannon Balenciaga, and I thank y'all. I thank you, Niko and Kalan, for joining us on this episode. Stay tuned for the next messy episode on Culture Couturé Podcast.